In the Louvre Museum, we come close to the gods of ancient Greece. In the Forbidden City, the ancient Eastern civilization still remains mysterious and extensive. Join us in exploring how the two civilizations developed their distinctive features. "2,000 years ago, she stood on the altar of Samothrace, facing the sea, protecting sailors from peril. She was also a monument to victory in a grand naval battle. Today, the goddess stands in the Louvre. She was brought here after being discovered in the temple ruins in 1863. Unlike other sculptures in the exhibition rooms here, she stands on the landing of the Daru staircase. Yes, she has to stand here alone, as if she still stood at the highest point of the temple, announcing that she was the symbol of victory. She stands on the ship's prow, guiding the fleet, breaking the waves, with her clinging garment rippling in the winds, and her wings spread to protect the land and people under her feet. It is a masterpiece of art. But why is it regarded as one of the most valuable treasures among the Louvre's thousands of masterpieces, and displayed in the most prominent location? In Greece, home of the goddess of victory, temples like these are known for their caryatids. Similar caryatids can be found in the Louvre. The exhibition room of Greek sculptures is called the Caryatids Room, for the four pillars at its entrance.
Mais c'est vrai que la culture occidentale, la culture française en général, est proche de la culture grecque, en ce sens qu'elle a choisi d'en faire une référence. Et puis aussi parce que notre univers, hein, les rues, regardez par la fenêtre, hein, le vocabulaire même architectural de l'architecture française, avec l'ordre corinthien, l'ordre ionique, est très lié à ce qu'a inventé l'art grec.
Greek relics are the most important treasures in this museum that was once an imperial palace. They are a testament to a brilliant civilization. These relief pieces are from the Parthenon at the Acropolis, Athens. If they were still in Greece, they might still be parts of a complete building. But with the decline of Greece, they were all taken to different parts of the world. Greek culture also spread to the world. The conquerors were themselves conquered by the beauty of Greece. The brilliant ancient Greek culture was the source of today's Western cultures. In China's Central Academy of Fine Arts, there is a large sculpture classroom. Here, the statue of the Goddess of Victory is used as a model for painting. The students here will start experiencing Greek art from drawing the plaster sculptures.
在卢浮宫里边，它是放在一个大阶梯，两个阶梯对面那个阶梯的上边，很高，光线也很好，你真看上去它有那个气势。在这个地方，它就是当做一个观察和描写的对象。为什么希腊女神要带翅膀？而且这个翅膀是鸟的翅膀，因为它要飞，就得弄一个真的鸟翅膀。包括他们所有的天使，都是带着鸟的翅膀。而他把这个翅膀做的也可以活灵活现，也可以跟人的肉体结合得很好。这天儿都不用翅膀，它飘带一飘，你就知道它是在空中在飞翔，用不着翅膀。这个我觉得这就是由于世界观不同导致的艺术内容、艺术形式的不同啊。这个是它由于系统不同，然后细节也不同。
On closer inspection, the differences become obvious, including their structure, materials, forms, and even themes. The ultimate question is, why are they different? What made the art and worldview of the East and the West differ so greatly? The Forbidden City contains many treasures of art and history. On their journey through time, they wait to be presented to the world. If Greek sculptures are symbols of Western culture, then what are the symbols of Eastern culture? It's not simply a question of how the Eastern and Western goddesses fly. The answer may lie in the source of civilization. The buildings and relics may well hold certain clues. Visitors to the Forbidden City are instantly attracted by everything in it, which seems to have mysterious power that motivates them to seek their roots. Similarly, visitors to the Louvre may also see more than just the exhibits. which have a deeper significance. History is complicated. Visitors may well see a different side of Greece, which comes from a more distant past. They look plain and simple, not much different from ancient Chinese civilization, but not for long. Greece was to focus on true life forms and structures, while China chose abstract lines. Among the three most valuable treasures in the Louvre, two come from Greece. One is the god of victory. The other is the Venus de Milo, the god of fertility, navigation, love and beauty. Actually, the name Venus is not very accurate, since it comes from Roman mythology. Perhaps her Greek name is more beautiful, Aphrodite.
Et c'était donc, en 1821 quand elle arrive, la seule grande statue grecque conservée en France, puisque vous savez, la sculpture grecque est surtout connue par les copies romaines. Alors, en ce qui concerne la beauté, en quelque sorte, puisque c'est une représentation d'Aphrodite, c'est une Aphrodite à demi-nue. Ce qui est le plus exceptionnel, c'est sans doute les éléments du drapé, ici, puisque, on le voit de ce côté-là, le sculpteur a complètement travaillé le drapé au point que vous voyez ici un repli. Donc voilà, c'est une statue très exceptionnelle par la taille, par l'état de conservation également, et qui doit sa célébrité au moment où elle est arrivée.
In Greek mythology, she was born in the white sea foam, with porcelain white skin and a perfect figure. She is the most beautiful goddess of heaven, but married to the ugliest god, Hephaestus, the god of blacksmiths. She became the mistress of Ares, the brutal god of war, and later fell in love with a young human. The furious Ares poisoned the young man. When Aphrodite arrived, it was too late. It's no wonder that she was so sad she turned to stone. Since then, human love and sadness have always been linked together. Today, this piece of artwork tries to reach out across mythologies, the West and the East, history and the present. It will be a special Venus. Half its inspiration came from Jiangsu province. Danyan City in southern Jiangsu used to be the home village to Emperor Wu of the Liang dynasty. The former imperial mausoleum is now overgrown with weeds. Yet some inconspicuous details here are the key to the sculpture's design. Today, only 2 stone beasts and 2 steels are left in the deserted imperial mausoleum, standing in bilateral symmetry. Interestingly, the characters on one stele are also in bilateral symmetry with the other. Why were they carved in a reversed way?
You 死了，你在过去的世界，或者你还没出生，你在未来的世界，如果你那时候你能存在在那个地方哈，你来看咱们今天这个世界，
跟我现在看的是一样，
就正好相反嘛，正好左是右，右是左，前是后，后是前，他的意思就反着写，那个一间的人才正着读，才正着读，他对他来说才是正的，因为他在另外一个空间里边，这个跟中国古代的这个对世界的认识是有关系的。
What did the ancient Chinese know about the world? What were heaven and earth? What were human beings? What were left and right? And who defined them? What was time? What composed life in the universe? The 2 stone tablets might give us at least some clues. There are many small islands between Athens and the island of Milos. In the wake of the boat is a trail of white water, out of which another Venus could be born. Few tourists visit the island in winter. Even the islanders are few and far between. The white and blue houses seem to shield supernatural powers, which provide Sway with the other half of the inspiration for his sculpture.
你看西方这种文化，希腊的东西，放到中国来，大概有70、80年了吧。看着好像你已经很熟悉了，是吧？其实它的根源、它的来源，你其实往往是你很不清楚。 所以你真要临的时候，并不像你顺着临的时候那么容易，也许你这么反着临，你才知道它到底有多难。那我就想把这个作品这样做过来，相当于你从另一个空间来看这个雕塑。我觉得这种相反其实是代表了就咱们中国文化跟西方文化它的巨大的差距，这种不同。其实中国这几千年的农业文明啊，就是已经形成了一个特别完整的世界观。这个世界观就是建立在这个人对土地的依赖，对自然条件的依赖，一年四季，然后风调雨顺，你的粮食才能生产出来。所以人就必须是跟自然协调的，这就是变成一个由于你生存的这个必须性，然后就你的所有的世界观都跟你这个建立了起来。
A Western goddess is being made here with local clay. Her image is reversed according to Eastern logic. She will be viewed and interpreted from an Oriental perspective. Back on the island, she could be guiding us to her hometown in search of her origin. In 1820, she was dug out by a farmer. France and Turkey almost waged war over her. She lost her arms in the maelstrom and chaos of grabbing and wrestling. Finally, she was taken to Paris. The Venus de Milo was named after this island, yet the locals do not seem to pay much attention to it. There are few street signs. At the end of a road is a closed door, with no sign on it at all. Is this where she was found? Or does it even matter? Perhaps a glimpse of her birthplace is enough. At the Louvre in the afternoon, shades are lowered in the exhibition halls to protect the cultural relics.
Donc c'est un vase, donc nous sommes vers 510 avant Jésus-Christ à peu près, au moment où la céramique grecque invente ce que nous appelons la figure rouge. Un art qui avait complètement disparu, puisque alors que la sculpture était encore connue, pendant presque 2000 ans, la céramique grecque avait disparu dans les tombes, tout simplement.
Plato believed that imitation is the nature of art. While reality is the imitation of ideas, art is the imitation of reality. Thus, art is the imitation of imitation. These items depict the lives of Greek people and gods. Did men imitate gods, or gods imitate men? Or have they already become mixed up? He is the most handsome god, the god of war, and bloodthirsty by nature. She is bright and peace-loving, but cannot bear to be surpassed by others. She often fell for others at first sight and had love affairs, because love was the realm she governed. They are not alone. In fact, all of the gods of Greece have certain human weaknesses and imperfections. Perfection is a relative concept in the first place. Even gods are not perfect. let alone human beings. Olympia. It is the hall of the gods, the arena of men. In the Greek mind, if you reached perfection in a certain aspect, you were a god. That was the idea behind competitive athletics. So, in the opening ceremony of the Athens Olympics, man is seen as an individual. In contrast, at the Beijing Games, man is seen more as part of a group. In the Forbidden City, you feel humbled because you look small compared to the majesty of the palace. This has less to do with architecture and more to do with the Chinese perception of people in their own value system. For thousands of years, the vast lands of China were mainly populated by farmers. The Chinese people enjoyed the happiness of harvest year after year on the fertile lands. Their respect for heaven grew from their reliance on agriculture, because the harvest and people's survival were largely determined by fine weather and a favorable geographic location. Consequently, artworks were made very obscure and abstract, as an attempt to approach and express God's will. Greece is a relatively barren land in the south of the continent of Europe, comprising seawater, islands, wind and rocks. They have relatively few natural resources. The land is mostly suitable for growing olives. The Greek people grow and trade olives for other products, so they value business and contracts. They have always earned a living by their own hands, not by the favor of gods. Therefore, they believe in people, in themselves. They built temples to worship their human-like gods, while the Forbidden City enshrined people. In a Greek temple, you see your own body, your shadow, and feel your own breath, as if you were part of the temple. You feel the grandness of the temple and yourself at the same time. Because you are as tall as the gods and look similar to them. In this way, people, like gods, can also be the scale of all things. The East and West differ greatly, not only in the perception of survival and people themselves, but also in ideas, art, spirit, and the distant past. Yet each has produced brilliant civilizations, which have lasted to the present day. In Athens' Syntigma Square, the changing of the guard ceremony still takes place. Their steps look very special, even amusing in some ways. Yet there is an invisible force behind their serious looks. Perhaps it's the confidence and perseverance born of their long traditions and civilization. That persistence can also be found in the Greek people's daily lives, sometimes in very interesting ways. The Louvre Museum inherited part of this romantic Greek culture and also displays that confidence and persistence. You can find a variety of interesting goods at Paris's weekend flea market. Sometimes you'll make unexpected discoveries that bring you closer to those ancient civilizations. The blue waters of the Aegean Sea are gilded by the setting sun. The wind gently pushes the waves. On the beach, Venus appears in the cracks of history, waiting for another disappearance and rediscovery. The reversed Venus is complete. Thousands of years ago, perhaps the artist who created the original also looked at her in a similar fashion. It seems that they have traveled across thousands of years, from 150 BC to the present day, to see their own greatness reflected in each other. This is the dream of an empire, and it is kept in human memory by an archway. Sacrifices and losses are always forgotten, while honor and glories are praised.
See